Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Robby Garber, and welcome to True Paranormal. Today we will be discussing the historic Lakeview Cemetery in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I myself am a resident here in Cheyenne. I absolutely love the rich history of the area that I live in, the old Wild West. So many awesome historical sites to go to, and one of which is the Lakeview Cemetery. For the most part, it is a peaceful cemetery to go to and visit and take a look at the history. However, there are others that say it is not so peaceful, that they have experienced paranormal activity while visiting the cemetery. Now, as far as my experiences go with the cemetery, my first was last year on Halloween night with a friend of mine. Of course, we went out there wanting to be scared, wanting to have a paranormal experience. We did experience some activity, but I always, thought perhaps maybe it was just something in my imagination, something in our heads, because, of course, we went out there wanting to be scared, wanting to have an experience, and always thought to myself in the back of my mind that maybe it was just a fluke. Seeing the fact that October and Halloween is next month, I decided to go back to the cemetery today and revisit some of the sites that we went to on Halloween night, as well as a couple other sites I had not visited before, some of which are said to be the areas where paranormal activity happens. I went in there skeptical, and I can tell you that I left the Lakeview Cemetery today 100% a firm believer that there is definitely paranormal activity at the Lakeview Cemetery. A little backstory on what happened last year on Halloween night when my friend and I decided to go there, looking to be scared, looking for something paranormal. We did have some experiences where we heard phantom footsteps behind us, and of course you turn around, there's nobody there. Of course, I personally thought maybe it was some kind of small animal or something that was walking near us in the cemetery. However, when I went back there today, I went to the same spot. I took out my headphones and turned them off, and as I walked, I got that eerie feeling that there was something behind me, and I heard the footsteps and turned around. Of course, there was absolutely nothing there. Investigated the surrounding area. There were no small animals, a couple of birds in a tree, but that was about it. And every time I started to walk away, once again, I heard the footsteps and had the feeling that something was behind me and did not want me in that cemetery, or at least that section of the cemetery. One of the other spots I visited, apparently there's an angry spirit that is especially hostile towards dogs. However, I also found out today that this spirit did not like me and did not want me in the section for whatever reason. Now, as I walked through the cemetery grounds in that area, I did step over top of one of the graves, and I was pushed by an unseen force. Now, me always trying to find a logical explanation before I jumped to the conclusion that it was something paranormal, I retraced my footsteps and checked the ground to see if there had been a collapsed coffin. However, the ground was solid and it was perfectly flat. Checked anything else to see if maybe I tripped over something. Absolutely nothing. I was definitely pushed. Immediately following being pushed, the energy from my body began to drain, and I started to feel weak and tired. Also worth noting, at that time I did have my headphones on, and they began to experience bizarre sounds. Not only did they experience bizarre sounds, they completely shut off, and my phone, the screen went completely black as if it had turned off. But when I stepped away, about 15 feet away, everything turned back on like nothing had ever happened. The energy in my body began to come back, and I started regaining my strength. Now, one of the other areas of the cemetery that I went to, it's a rather sad story. There was a 14-year-old child that had been murdered by a hitman in 1901. I did go to the headstone and took a look at it. The kid's name was Willie Nickel. I didn't experience anything at that section. I didn't feel like there was anything watching me or that there was anything that didn't want me there. However, in the pictures here in the video that you see, there is a statue of a little boy with a wagon. That was another section of the cemetery that I visited. In fact, here's a picture right here of the little boy with the wagon. That was another area where I got a pretty eerie feeling and some pretty bad vibes. It was almost as if there was something in that section that didn't want me there, or was at least making its presence known. And it was just one of those feelings of I need to get out of here. I just need to leave this place and let it be. Worth noting that there were several sections, especially the older sections of the cemetery, where I had that feeling. Anyway, this is today's podcast for True Paranormal Incidents by Robby Garber. See you on the next episode.